everyone. Good evening. It's 9 p.m. here in Ireland. It's time for our spiritual light, and it's wonderful to have you all here today. Rodrigo, it is with us. Thank you, Rodrigo, for joining us. And um, as we announced last week, we will make April because it's anniversary of the Spiritist book, some books of Kardec as well. So we will dedicate the month of April, since we have 5 weeks. In each week, we will talk about one book codified by Kardec. And in this week, the book it is the Spirit's book. Okay, so as usual, and thank God, I do have these four wonderful friends here to support us in our discussion today. So good evening, Rodrigo. How are you?
Hi, good evening, everyone. So long time since the last time I was here with you, so I was missing being here. So thank you for the invitation, and hopefully we can achieve our target, which is achieving the heart of the people who are watching us here in this live session. Buenos días a todos, bienvenidos. Es un placer, una alegría estar aquí con todos y un saludo a los hispanohablantes que nos acompañan. Y espero que cumplamos con nuestra tarea, que es de tocar vuestros corazones sobre todo. Pues muchas gracias.
Thank you. Miss Gibbons, good evening, my dear.
Which thing off? Oh, hello. Hello, good evening, everyone. Lovely to be here with you. Charles and Elsa and Rodrigo, after a while. It's nice to have you back with us. Hi, Stevan. And it's a very exciting month because we're going to talk different aspects of the Spiritist and teachings, which will be very, very interesting. So hope everyone join us and, ask questions, say, give your opinion, and it's going to be very exciting. Lovely.
Thank you.
Hope everyone is well.
Good evening, Elsa. How are you, my dear?
I'm very, very happy to have our dear Rodrigo with us once again, and perhaps once a month. And I'm delighted to be here with Silvia, Stevan, Charles, and with our dear friends that is in our chat commenting already about this wonderful topic, and especially this homage to Allan Kardec, to the Spiritism in the World. So the 5 books, 5 weeks, 5 Wednesday. Join us and be with us, chatting, writing, commenting, give your feedback. We are here to serve. We are here to learn. We are here to share. So welcome everyone, benefactors, incarnate and discarnate spirits. Thank you.
Bonsoir, Charles.
Bonsoir, Steven. Hello. Indeed, very happy to be here again, also with Rodrigo. 4 countries represented here in this screen. So this is wonderful. It shows the universality of the work done by Allan Kardec, in particular this first one, which was the Spirit's book, which will have its anniversary this month, 18th of April. So very happy to be here to commemorate this work and this month.
Good. So, as I said, tonight we will begin our journey to the foundational works of Allan Kardec. And the first book, it is with the Spirit's book. This book invites us to reflect on some of life's most profound questions. I highly recommend everyone to read these books. I'm pretty sure it contains many questions you have and questions you are seeking for an answer. Like questions like who we are, where we come from, why we are here, and let's explore the teachings of Spiritism that help us understand our spiritual nature, our purpose on earth, and the moral laws that guide our progress. That's my favorite part of the book. It is the moral laws. So, in order to start this conversation here, uh, I will ask our guest Rodrigo if he could help me with the following. What does Spiritism teach us about the origin and nature of the soul?
Okay, thank you for the question, Stevan. Well, first of all, I think we need to define soul because in order to understand where it comes from. So, in the Spiritist book, soul is the incarnated spirit. That's what the spirits tell us about it. But what is a spirit? I think we should start for the beginning. Spirits are the intelligent beings of the universe. So if we go to the Spiritist book, so the spirits teach us that God has created uh, the intelligent principle and matter. Okay, both are the two main things that He created. So the intelligent principle contains the intelligence. It's an attribute of the intelligent principle. This intelligent principle evolves. No, it evolves. It passes through many. How can I say stages until it reaches the consciousness. So when the intelligent principle reaches its consciousness, I mean, it understands that it exists. It has continuous thinking. It thinks about the future. So it has reason. So it becomes what Kardec calls it the spirit with the capital E, because it's the intelligent principle evolved to its consciousness. So when it becomes the spirit with capital E, so it's us. I mean, so it has free will. So it decides by itself or by himself or by herself. So we become human beings. And then when we become human beings, so we use what we call a body called perispirit. This perispirit involves our intelligent principle, now conscious with consciousness, and then it incarnates. So it incarnates, and when it incarnates, it becomes soul. Okay, so I don't know what is the, let me just check here. So you have the region and nature of the soul. So we are basically the intelligent beings of the universe. And why we are here for? We are here to learn and to evolve. And our, how can I say, destination, our destiny is to co-create with God. That becomes our happiness at the end of our, how can I say, progress journey, morally and intellectually speaking. So that's what is a soul for Spiritism.
Great, great. Thank you. Daniel, great definition about the soul. People sometimes have a kind of troubles to understand what is soul, what is spirit, what's the difference. And Ms. Gibbons, do you have anything to complement what Rodrigo said to us?
Having trouble with connection.
Yeah. So, my dear Elsa, since your connection is okay, would like to jump in?
Pass to Charles.
Pastor Charles. Charles, we arrive in France now.
Yeah, I mean, okay, good. The main point, the main disruption that Kardec brought is to enter in this type of subject in a rational, scientific, in a rational form manner with a scientific methodology. And because these questions of soul, spirits were always, private domain of religions, but the religions, they come with dogmas, with statements, but not with demonstrations. And Kardec really made that outstanding finding by observing moving tables. That is what is incredible. He found out and managed to demonstrate in a scientific way that we human beings have a soul. And we are not just a bunch of physical cells governed by random biochemical reactions. No, we have a soul. And this soul has, as the origin stated and well explained by our dear friend Rodrigo, this soul has unsuspected power and faculties. So, as long as we ignore the fact we have a soul, we just miss these outstanding faculties, this outstanding power of the soul we have. And that's all what is about Spiritism. And it changes completely the point of view of what we are or who we are, and what is our destiny. Our destiny is not just a box in a grave and that's it. No, our destiny is we are immortal. The soul does not die and progresses through reincarnations, as Rodrigo already stated it. And this finding has also huge ethical consequences. Okay, we are a soul, so the soul survives after our death. So what is the status of the soul after the death, depending on what it has done during his life? One thing is already sure, and I repeated it here several times. We will not take with us, the soul will not take with it a single penny, a single material physical atom. Everything which is physical, money and so on, even the physical body, stays here on the earth. So what's happening with the soul? The soul goes then with all what it has learned, the intelligence. It goes also with the conscience, good or bad. These are the things we take with us. So it's really worthwhile to think about, consider it. No, there are more and more and more demonstrations since Kardec, 168 years that the Spirits book has been published. There has been huge demonstrations. There are tens of thousands of papers showing the links between health and spirituality, between religious thoughts and recovery of severe illnesses and whatever. I mean, this is now undeniable. We cannot just say, oh, that's just a dream, whatever. No, here we are talking really about evidences, huge convergences of evidence about this. And this is all what Spiritism is about, is to bring us light about what we are, where we go to, and what's really important in our life. What's really important is not the physical body and the money and the physical stuff. What's really important is what we keep with us forever in our immortality, which is the soul. So this changes completely the point of view and helps a lot the spiritists and the people who are spiritualists in general to work for learning, to work to become a better person, to work to be less selfish, less proud, and more fraternal, more humble, develop all these spiritual values, or this spiritual intelligence, which is, by the way, the only sustainable future of the humanity on the earth. So we really do whatever we can to spread this information so that the conscience of the people, of the humans, can awake, so that we can, last but not least, go towards a much better, a much more harmonious, and a much more happy world.
And just complementing, Charles, what Kardec brought, as you said, differently from other spiritualistic religions, is that because other religions also believe in the existence of the soul.
Yes.
But what Kardec brought in this regard is that what survives from the death of the body is the spirit. So that's the difference. I think that's what, and also Kardec has proven that the existence of the spirit and of course the soul by scientific methods, which brings us this security, let's say this way, that this information is not something coming from someone who has woken up in the morning, say, "Hey, I believe what survives from the death of the body is our spirits." No, Kardec investigated that and used the reason in order to understand and to prove that soul really exists and that we are immortal beings, which brings the consolation. Yes.
Not only Kardec, but Kardec and millions of followers
Yes.
demonstrated this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One question that always people brings in our conversation, because first, there are people that still do not believe in spirit, believe in ghosts, in bad spirit, but that they don't believe that they are an immortal spirit. It's common to speak with someone that discuss regarding first spirit. But you are a spirit. No, eu tenho alma. I have a soul. No, you are a spirit that when incarnated, you call a soul. And so how this could be? How could spirit, you said that spirits evolve. How this could be? But easily, Spiritism explain and bring the clarification regarding how can we, as immortal beings, be in millions of years an angel. Easily, steps that we can really put in our attention, that we are not created instantaneously evolved. Rodrigo said we are created ignorant spirits, right? In a gradual process that happens through learning, experience, and reincarnation. So what means reincarnation? Reincarnation is inclusive in our evolution. Evolved spirit has to have many, many existences. That means reincarnate and reincarnate again, really to be in the pathway to evolution. Reincarnation, what does it mean? Each new life presents lessons and opportunities to grow. A soul may be born in different gender, cultures, social classes, or situations to develop wisdom and compassion. We see nowadays really, here and now. I am a good person today, and tomorrow, anything that happens, I really jump in anger or anxiety. So we don't have our calmness that all the good spirits are in this position as Jesus. Moral challenges. Struggles like pain, loss, and injustice help develop patience, humility, and strength. Free will and consequences. That's great. Every action has consequences. Spirits learn through trials and errors or mistakes, correcting one by one over the time. It's not like that we change our way to behave or to be a better person. Guidance from higher spirits. More evolved spirits assist us, those who are still learning, acting as mentors and inspirations. And we evolve serving others. Humility, humbleness, compassion, charity, serving others, especially inside our family, where we are planted right now. It's not at random or by chance that we are in the family that we are now. As a spirit evolves, it shifts from focusing on itself to helping others grow. When you help someone, if someone is getting better and healthy or getting better in physically or even in wealthy, getting a job or money, you feel yourself so comfortable in your heart. You really are accelerating your spiritual progress. We can do this towards us, but not in one existence, one life, yes, one life, but many, many, many existences, many, many, many reincarnations. I don't know how many I already have in the past and how many incarnations I will have in the future. For sure that I will reincarnate again. You as well. You are thinking about? Comment here in our chat and say if you are in this position to accept that you are a immortal spirit and through reincarnation you will evolve. Not say I'll never marry you again the next incarnation. And sometimes people said like that.
Mhm.
Okay, my dear. Comment here and let us know your thoughts.
Good. Thank you, my dear Elsa. Thank you, Charles. Thank you so much. Also, I wanted to say good evening to Ariane Kempton, Rialia Rom, Suelisa Ponara, Pat K, and Maria. Thank you for being here with us, my friends. Thank you. Thank you. And Charles, just we talk about reincarnation, and the logical question after this discussion here is why do we reincarnate and what determines the circumstances of each reincarnation?
Hmm. Okay, good question. So, as it has been explained already, God has created the spirits, the intelligent principle of the human spirit, simple and without science. Okay, so to have an idea of what could be a spirit just after creation as a human being, today we know it. It's just to look a couple of 100,000 years ago in the prehistory, and there we see how this first incarnation of the spirits are looking like. Okay, so that's the starting point. And God did not favor anyone. There are no angels, special creation with already a lot of qualities, and others which are created having to build all the qualities themselves. Okay, so what we call the angels or the mentors, they have started on that point as well. So that's infinite justice of God. Everyone starting from the same point, and then reincarnating. We can follow the history, the prehistoric man. Neanderthals, and of a sudden Cro-Magnon, 17,000, about around 17,000 years ago, and then 10,000 years ago, what the so-called Adamic race, which came, went out of the caverns and starting building pyramids, starting writing books and whatsoever. And little by little, we see the evolution, also since the antiquity until today. And if we just look the last 100 years, how was the world a century ago, or at Kardec time, 1.5 century ago, and how it is today. You see, we are representative of 4 countries here, live and spreading worldwide in real time. So this was, even when I was younger, it was a dream to have this. Today we have it. So this shows how this progress is going. And that is thanks to the reincarnation. Because when we reincarnate, if we observe ourselves, of course, in this life, I have learned a lot of things. I have made schools and engineering schools and discovered spiritist body of knowledge and learned from that. And, little by little, we are gaining in knowledge and gaining also in goodness. The more we reincarnate, the more goodness we will acquire also with time, because that's the ultimate goal. The angels or the mentors are the spirits who are intellectually and also morally evolved. They are at the same time intelligent and good. They use their intelligence for goodness. I would love to have all the leaders of the planet like this. Unfortunately, there are a lot who are intelligent, but they don't have the goodness yet, and they use their intelligence to manipulate, to dominate, to acquire for their personal interest, in despite of the global interest. So that's where we are going to, and that's what we are learning through reincarnation. So at our level of evolution, we still have to incarnate in a physical body. Our soul has still have to incarnate in a physical body to progress. After reaching a certain level of progress, which myself I did not reach yet, but after reaching that level, there is no need of physical incarnation anymore. Or when there is a physical incarnation, it is for missionaries or like Jesus, Buddha, or Gandhi, or Einstein, or whoever, to contribute to the evolution of the whole human society. So this is how we shall see the purpose of this reincarnation. I don't know how many reincarnations I had already. It's probably hundreds or more. And everything depends on my efforts of the use of my goodwill, the effort I have put in learning, in working, in becoming a better person. That is then conditioning how quick I will evolve, or how slow I will evolve, or how many reincarnations I will need to reach that level of intelligence and goodness. So that's basically it. So at each, the circumstances of reincarnation you asked as well, Stevan. But in each life, we will select the reincarnation and the main conditions of the new life we are planning in the way that it is the more useful for the evolution of our soul. Okay. If we are, for instance, selfish, so we select to incarnate in a humble position to develop humility. If we are, lacking patience, we will reincarnate in conditions where our patience will be challenged. So in order to help us in developing our patience, and so on, if we want to develop, for instance, artistic things, or if we want to develop intelligence, or if we want to develop goodness, there are several situations, and we participate to this choice. Of course, the prehistoric man, Neanderthal and Cro-Magnon, did not have yet the necessary intelligence to make the choice himself. So the choice was done in the best way for him by more elevated spirits who helped him for his progress. The incarnation, which was the best for his evolution on the level he was. But at the level we reached, of course, we selected what we wanted in our incarnation. And there is another last aspect I want to mention is there is also a law of action and reaction, a law of cause and effect. Okay, so if we have made something wrong in the past, we most of the time we will reincarnate in a way enabling us to correct or to redo the wrong we have done, or to do good to someone, which could be, for instance, in our family, that we have done wrong in the past. We will also select this type of situation in order to wipe the bad things we have done in the past and to replace them by good things, by the repair we have done of those bad things in the past. So that's just summarizing it. Of course, read the Spirit's book. It's explained in much more detail by Allan Kardec.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you so much. Very good explanation, and I think it's clear for everyone that you reincarnate in order to go through your, let's say, imperfections. You need to evolve, you need to progress, or you reincarnate to help a friend, a family member to evolve, and you are kind enough to come along with this friend, this family member, and help them throughout his or her evolution. And Rodrigo, since I said here we reincarnate in order to progress, how does the concept of spiritual progression help us understand suffering and injustice? You're on mute, my friend.
Sorry. It's aligned with what Charles has mentioned now, but I'll try to put in a little bit more detail. So one thing that what I learned sometime from a spiritist speaker in Brazil is that there is injustice, but there are no injustice. I mean, so nobody suffer on purpose, because if we think that suffering is something that is casual, God would not be God, because he loves us and he doesn't want us to suffer. So if we suffer, it's because of the law of cause and effect that Charles has mentioned. I mean, in Spiritism, we learned that, well, in a normal circumstance, if we throw a stone up, we have the possibility to deviate from it when it falls. In the justice of God's law, if we throw a stone up, wherever we go, the stone will fall on our head, because it's the law of cause and effect. I mean, so what we learn with that? So we are progressing. So as Charles mentioned, so we are created simple and ignorant, or without science. So, and God has not asked us if we want that, because this comes with our free will. In the Spiritist Center, I gave an example once. So when God created us, he didn't ask, oh, you want to know everything, or you want to learn it by yourself using your free will. He hasn't asked us that. If he had done that, most probably with our ignorance, we would have chosen to be perfect already, but then we wouldn't be keeping our individuality. So that's the justice of reincarnation, what Charles said. So God created us simple and ignorant, without science, to learn by ourselves, to keep our individuality. But of course, in order to do that, he gave us opportunities to learn and to understand how to practice God's law. Because only when we practice God's law, we will be able to act harmonically with everyone, not only with ourselves. So then we learn how to survive, or to be with other human beings without harming them or harming ourselves. The point is that in this process of learning, we commit mistakes. And when we commit mistakes, we need to pass through situations during our reincarnation, sometimes to suffer the same thing that we provided or we have done to others, in order to put ourselves in the shoes of others and understand the consequences of what we have done, in order to, how can I say, to purify our faults or our lack of virtues, and to learn how to be better people, to progress morally. Because being moral means for us, according to Spiritism, to practice God's law. So during the reincarnation, during the process of reincarnation, we are learning, we are purifying our imperfections, and by putting ourselves in the shoes of others. That's the concept of expiation. And also as the concept of the purpose of incarnation is really to purify ourselves. I mean, to passing through the difficulties of matter, the influence of matter, we can purify ourselves and we can eliminate our imperfections and being able to practice God's law. So when we go to this progression, we understand that we only suffer when we go far from the God's law, when we don't practice God's law. Of course, this takes time, because the process of learning that we are suffering because of ourselves, it takes time until we reach a point that we understand, and then we regret. So we have this process of understanding that we need to change. And when we understand we need to change because we are not acting harmonically with God's laws and we are causing harm to others and ourselves, then we change. And then when we do that, we start being more happier. So that's why the Spiritism helps us to understand this mechanism. And then we understand that there's no injustice. Of course, there are injustices, because this world, as Jesus said, so it's we will face suffering because we are in a world of expiation and trials. But during this process, we understand that nobody's suffering by causality. So the suffering comes from something done in the past, either in other lives, in other incarnated lives or process, or either in this one. And then suffering the consequences of our actions, we can understand and learn and be, more harmonic to God's laws. So that's how Spiritism helps us to understand suffering and injustice.
Perfect. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. I like that. So, Ms. Gibbons, you are very quiet. I know you are having internet problems. Are you able to help us here?
Yes, I'm from my tablet now, so hopefully it will work. I'm so sorry about disappearing for a while. Yeah, I'm here now. If you can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, perfect.
Good.
Yeah. So, my dear, what's the difference between instinct and intelligence, and how do spirits evolve?
Well, just a small question. Well, instinct we all have. It's something that's given to us because, as it was said, we were created simple and ignorant in the sense of having no knowledge. So all the knowledge that we gather, it's ours, is our own work, which is important because we have to be responsible for everything. So instinct is something that was given to us when we were a very primitive state in order to help us, to protect ourselves, to be able to survive the many dangers that we had. And this is very important, an instinct we still have. We still have that if we are in a situation of danger, there's something in our body that happens, you sense it. So we still have that. But intelligence was something that was developed from the primitive instinct. And as we developed as spirits, we were progressing and learning and going to the many phases that the spirit goes, and life and rebirth, and go back into the spiritual world, bring the knowledge that we had from the material world and going back. And intelligence was developed because the spirit that was created and was given to us is the intelligent principle of the universe. So this intelligence, the spirit, is the intelligent principle of the universe. So this is very important. And of course, this intelligence is developing as we learn new things, as we progress and we evolve. So that's, we are now at certain level of intelligence, but it's really, a sort of the beginning that we can achieve as a spirits, because that is just one path, progression. And I'm sure that was discussed before, and unfortunately I missed it. But everything that we learn, we keep. So we're learning from one life to another, and we learn in the spiritual world, and we learn here on the material world, and we are developing this knowledge. And that's the purpose of being here, because that is growth and development and enlightenment, and the work that we continue doing ourselves. So when we become spirits of light, which is our destiny to be, we will see that was our own work. And that's very important, because we make our decisions, we are responsible for them. And I think that that's the purpose for us. And we still have instinct. It is not anymore a controlling thing, but we still have, that fight or flight. If we feel in danger, the whole body works towards us, getting our blood into the legs so we can run. We have that. We always have that, because it's a part of us that helps us to survive dangerous situations. But now our intelligence controls it. We don't act just on instinct anymore. There is that level of intelligence that we have achieved that controls certain things. And I don't know what else did you say? If you asked me something else as well, didn't you, Stevan?
No, that's it. That's it. Elsa, would you like to comment something?
No, so the question that you have done to Silvia, the answer was regarding reincarnation. Eh? So I already answered something, but it's always opportunity to talk about. We can talk about the divine justice and love, and why people come to our planet to suffer is not penalty or imposition from God. It's ourselves that through our reincarnation, many reincarnation, we can improve ourselves, or we can, inverted commas, pay our penalty accordingly, the justice of God, what we have done in the past. Only through trials or atonements that we can learn something. God is merciful. The divine justice is love. So we have to learn and to study these 5 wonderful books in order really to know and see the entire panorama that is our life, eternal, God and immortal beings. That is the way that we are. Because God wasn't created, always God. And we are created by God as immortal beings, and we talk until now basically how we were created. And reincarnation is not a punishment, but a loving opportunity for grow, always guided by spiritual mentors who help to plan our path. Our planet has a guide, has a mentor, is Jesus. And all the benefactors that are working in several countries try to put our mind in the right pathway. But we are still selfishness in a lot of things. So we are the ones that are not seeing the beauty of the life, even when we are suffering. We can see beauty because God created us to be happy, but it will take a millennia, really to achieve this path that the spiritual mentors and the higher profile spirits already achieved, as Jesus, a Buddha, and others. So that's it. Talking about
May I jump in here for a bit, please?
Yeah.
Because I think this one of the things we need to understand, in which the Spiritist teachings separates from every other religion, whatever it is that accepts the idea of reincarnation. In a Spiritist understanding, reincarnation is a law of progress. It's not punishment. It's not we made mistakes, because we were giving free will to choose and to learn. And sometimes we make mistakes. We become selfish. We want power. We wanted to control others. We wanted to dominate others. And we make mistakes. So we come back and we live certain lives because we want to learn lessons. And I think sometimes people are in situation of great pain and difficulties, but they choose certain lessons to learn, either because in the past they've done something that was wrong and they were the ones who were dominating and controlling. So they choose to come in a situation of suffering to learn certain lessons. And others also, there are spirits who choose to be in that situation to help others who still are rebellious, who still don't understand, who still are fighting. And some very, very good spirits of great light, come in situations of pain and difficulty to help the people around them with their example of resignation and not being angry. I think, there are certain comments in the comments here that remind me of something that Jesus said in reply to someone who was questioning him about God. And he says that God, the laws of God, does not fulfill the whims of men, but they are natural laws that we have to follow and fulfill. I think being angry and just seeing one side of the coin is very, very difficult, because the world does not work the way we want it to work. There is always two sides to everything, and to have a measure. And we are eternal spirits. We have been through many situations in which we are perpetrators of great damage to others, and we choose to come in new lessons, to learn new things. So to see that God is punishing and making people suffer, as if God is a human being full of anger and rebelliousness, is not to understand the nature of God, which we can't really at the moment. But we know, because of the spirits that tell us, that God is the supreme intelligence of the universe, the first cause of all things, and God's laws are created absolutely for our good, perfect, and they will not satisfy the whims of man. So I think if that's one thing, even if we don't have anybody, if our audience is of none, there'll be always someone who will want to understand, because, God will not fulfill everything that mankind wants, but we need to learn the path that fulfill the laws, the natural laws, that should be: love your neighbors yourself, do unto others as you want them to do to you. And I think if each and every one of us could do that, we would live in a better world, in a peaceful world, and not blame God for things that we ourselves do. And I think this is very important, because usually we commit crimes, we do things, we are rebellious, we are angry, we want power, we sacrifice people's lives, their livelihoods, and then we say, oh, but the devil taught me to do it, he pushed me to do it. So you always take the responsibility to the devil, to whatever it is, to God, and we throw into God the things that we do ourselves. And I think from the moment we start taking responsibility for our own actions and the things we do, I think things will be better. We will have more respect for other people's lives, other people's understanding as well. And the world will never, ever be the way we want it to be, but then according to God's laws, which is all for all of us and for the whole of the universe. God does not change the law from place to place. It's the natural law, universal laws for all beings. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. Very good comment, my dear. I love it. Yeah, I know this is difficult to accept because it's easy for us to blame someone instead of take our own responsibilities. It's easy to say they are punishing us, so there is no such punishment. That is consequences of our actions. So, Rodrigo, since you are our guest of honor today, what's your final comments?
Well, I think hearing Silvia about everything she said, which was lovely, I think one of the things that Spiritism brings us is the consolation that life goes on. So it doesn't finish with the death of our body. But we understand sometimes the death of the body brings suffering, because of course we don't want to be far from our loved ones. And this is something which happens. So our life in this body has an end. And we don't want to take this suffering out of anyone in Spiritism. What we want, or what it's our intention with this doctrine, or what the doctrine has as a purpose, is to show people that God is not separating loving hearts eternally. That's the point. So the separation is just a matter of a time. But of course, sometimes for those who are staying, it's difficult to understand, and it's difficult to accept, because time for us is different. So in matter, the time seems to be much is lower than in the spiritual world. We don't want to take this out. We don't want to extinguish the person's feelings about missing someone who's a loved person, but just to give hope, to give the perception or the strength or the faith by proving, as Spiritism did and keeps doing, that life goes on. So our life is not the one we take in this body; it's immortal. So the life is in this body is an exercise. That's what incarnation is for, and reincarnation is for. Is to exercise. If we want to get, using a correlation with a material comparison. So if you want to get a perfect body, we go to the gym. But when we go to the gym, actually there's even a saying in the gym that no pain, no gain. So of course, exercising to get a different level of something requires work, effort, sometimes destruction of what is not good to build up something new. And this is what incarnation is for, is to exercise our capacity to practice our virtues, but these virtues are not ready yet. We have the potential for that. We need to exercise it through the incarnations in order to achieve relative perfection in the practice of our virtues. And the biggest one is loving. I mean, so what we are learning how to practice, to love instinctively without thinking, because we are not created to live alone. The nature of our consciousness, of our as human beings, we need others to be happy. But of course, in this stage we are, if we are not able to be with others without causing harm to them, because we are still imperfect. So we are still selfish. We have pride. So we have many imperfections that in this interaction, so we cause harm to others and to ourselves. And what we are learning here is to eliminate these imperfections, which makes us living together, causing harm to each other. So we need to learn how to love, but how to love perfectly. I mean, to love the other, and and loving others means that we want the other person to be happy. That's what we are learning. So that's why incarnation is for. That's why, and we have been created simple and ignorant in order to exercise that and to keep our individuality. And this is not something we are creating from our heart. Kardec did it with science, with philosophy, with a common knowledge that is not belonging to us. It's coming from the spirits. And that's why Spiritism is, let's say, a safe doctrine for everyone who wants to understand who we are, why we are here, and what's the purpose of our existence. That's what I would like to say, Stevan.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you for the wise words. And dear Elsa, do you want to wrap up? Do you have a final comments?
Yes, I'd like to say just one phrase. Each existence, each one existence, allow us to acquire new skills, wisdom, and understanding. So we keep our faith, our hope for the better days, but we are the ones that are preparing the soil for the future. Okay? But we have the benefactors around us. Pray and be happy. Do your best to everyone, and you feel in our heart the generosity of the benefactors helping us in our inner problems that we have. And who has no problems in this existence? Everyone has. God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rodrigo, for being with us. Thank you, our dear audience, our friends that are here every week with us. Thank you, Silvia, Stevan, Charles. It's a blessing to be with you here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So let me share here the announcements, because we need to wrap up. Let me go here. So next week, the book is Medium's book, and the topic it is mediumship without mystery, understanding spiritual communication. And our guest, it is Guilherme Diaz from UK. He's gonna be with us here. This Sunday, we have Roberto Watanabe talking about animism or spiritism according to the books from Ernesto Bozano. So Don't miss it. It's 7 p.m. Sunday, 6th of April. Also, in between 7 and 8 of June 2025, we will have our gathering in Finland. So I encourage everyone to join us to our 8th European Spiritist gathering. So this event is in English, so everyone is more than welcome. And if you need more details, please, our friend Pekka, it's here to give you details how to reach the group. We're gonna be there, and I hope to see you all as well. In September, we will have the Congress about Joana de Angelis, in which Silvia, it's one of the speakers in the round table, and this is a very good event, and I encourage everyone to go and in Hertfordshire and join the team. Also, if you want to keep up to date with the newsletters, go to the Spiritist Institute and subscribe with the Spiritist Radar, and you'll receive updates from the Spiritism in English. If you are interested, every Thursday from 6:45 to 7:45 p.m., we do have a young youth group online, held by the Solidarity Spiritist Society group in UK. And if you want to get the link to join them, it's everyone's more than welcome. Just go to contact at solidarityspiritistsociety.org.uk. Buzz newsletter is already on air, is live, so go to buzz.org.uk. You can read the newsletter from January, February, and March of 2025. And also, more articles today in the Spiritist magazine. It's free of charge, no fees, no nothing. So just go there, download, and read it. And this is it from us today. I want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rodrigo, for your time. Thank you, Silvia. I know. Thank you for keep persisting to coming to join us. I know. Thank God you have a tablet. You could make it. And Charles, merci. Thank you so much. Elsa, thank you, my dear. Thank you. And thank you, everyone who joined us today and shared your thoughts, shared your knowledge with us. Okay, thank you. See you next week. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. God bless everyone. Bye.
Bless.
God bless.